By now, you may have heard what Donald Trump wants to do with cryptos for investors, but what I'm going to be talking about, I think, has an even greater impact, and that is with gold. Let's talk about it as we explore. Fascinating news how quickly things are turning. I can't even keep up with the latest legislation that's made its way through the Senate and now the House of Representatives. We don't know what the final result will be, but I know gold is in there somewhere, and that is going to be something that gold and private equity and cryptocurrency investments that we might see being opened up to the $9 trillion plus U.S. retirement market. And this is pretty big news because it provides an alternative for many who feel that the current system as it sits now, including all the stocks, bonds, and other investments, is kind of corrupted and overextended. Whereas some of the alternatives, well, there's some pretty good ones out there that have done very well. We know cryptocurrencies have, but also gold. And so that is kind of remarkable. In a piece shared with me by Alan Gold from the Financial Times, let's get into exactly what's going on here. Before we get too far into that, I want to remind you of channel sponsor Summit Metals. You can continue to accumulate on your own physical gold, regardless of what the government does or how they view the asset. And right now, there is a sale going on for my viewers. $10 off for any order over $500 until the 31st of January. Just enter the code Summit Salivate Summer. That's 3 S's there, all capital S's there. You put that code in, that promo code in, and you will get $10 off of your order over $500. So check out summitmetals.com for that. Now, this is fascinating, and I'm glad that Alan shared this with me as Donald Trump is preparing to open up that retirement market to cryptocurrencies, gold, and private equity in a move that would spur a radical shift in the way that American savings are managed. Yes, indeed. Imagine being able to put your money for your retirement right in there to gold and other cryptocurrencies. You can do that to some extent now. There are gold and silver IRAs out there, but I think this kind of opens it up even more. Trump is expected to sign an executive order as soon as this week that would open up the 401k plans to alternative investments beyond traditional stocks and bonds, according to 3 people who have been briefed on the president's plan. So this very well could piggyback with some of the latest legislation that's making its way through the House of Representatives. These investments would run a broad spectrum of asset classes, from digital assets to precious metals and funds focused on corporate takeovers, private loans, and infrastructure deals. The executive order would instruct Washington regulatory agencies to investigate the remaining hurdles needed to allow for such alternative investments to be included in professionally managed funds used by 401k savers. And President Trump is committed to restoring prosperity for everyday Americans and safeguarding their economic future. No decisions should be deemed official, however, unless they come from President Trump himself, the White House said in a statement to the Financial Times. So this being worked out, and we know that Trump is a gold man. He's talking about his second term here as being the golden age, and he's put his money where his mouth is, literally, in many different ways around the White House. There's even decor plated in gold or coated in gold leaf, gilded, if you will, certain products out there. But gold's a metal that certainly he understands, and I've reported on this channel that back in around 2013, he actually accepted 3 kilo gold bars for payment for rent of his New York office building to a bullion dealer. It's pretty remarkable what has gone on here. But then nonetheless, gold, a metal that certainly Trump understands and appreciates. And so I find it quite fascinating to see this move to allow for an expansion. Now, obviously, there's going to be a risk involved in any investment of what have you, but I think you might be surprised if more and more 401ks add, at least in part, gold as part of the portfolio. That's probably going to keep the price up at the very least, as a way to be able to save and be able to do it outside of just your normal self-initiated gold and silver IRAs. They can be done through your 401k, where folks don't even have to think about it. It's just drawn out of their check and invested according to the fund managers there. Pretty amazing. Yes, indeed. Now, in these things here, the 401ks are among the most popular ways that working Americans save for retirement, allowing them to invest a portion of their salaries in publicly traded securities tax-free. But virtually all such investments are housed in public stock and bond mutual funds. The executive order would accelerate Trump's push to bring crypto investments to the mainstream after his administration had dropped prominent enforcement actions against large digital asset trading groups. The House of Representatives passed a trio of crypto-related bills that Trump had strongly backed, underscoring how the president is seeking to bolster the industry. Trump campaigned on a platform of freeing cryptocurrencies from what he said were overly harsh regulations and credited the industry in helping him win the 2024 presidential election. Trump's family has also become a major cryptocurrency investor, striking a deal to purchase more than $2 billion in digital currencies, such as Bitcoin, through their publicly traded Trump Media and Technology Group, and launching a stablecoin and other valuable digital tokens. The Trump administration has already begun loosening rules surrounding the use of crypto for retirement accounts. The Department of Labor in May rescinded a Biden-era effort that discouraged administrators of 401ks from including cryptocurrency investment options. And I tell you what, when we see Bitcoin reach over $122,000, it seems like there's not much slowing it down now. But I think that gold really is the metal that will never go to zero. And obviously, it's unlikely, but Bitcoin could always go to zero. There is that one thing, because there's nothing really backing of it other than just the speculation of the markets and the energy used to produce it, which has already been expended. So there is that aspect. And again, I don't discourage anybody from buying Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, but I think gold is a much safer bet overall, less speculative for sure. And but you think about it, this executive order could help folks in a big way to be able to have more choices, and I really think that's what it's about. So I think that doing this with gold as part of this, and definitely will set up a situation where people are going to become more educated on gold, as they can now do it through the ease of their employer. But also, you might even incur folks that are putting money in it through their 401ks to actually buy some of it outside of their 401ks, preferably in physical form, such as you see here. Yes, indeed, a gold buffalo 1 ounce coin. Of course, there's other sizes as well, too. Fractional gold is becoming more and more popular as the price continues to climb up dramatically. So when you add a half-ounce gold coin, which is the least popular way to get gold, it seems like these days, it gives you a sense that you've got something of value, even in a very small package. The 10th-ounce size is probably the most popular now for gold eagles. And, this is definitely a way to be able to protect yourself and your families through the course of time. Because one thing that we know for sure about gold, with its price surpassing inflation right now, is the best bet we can hope for through the long course of time is that gold will preserve your wealth and right at inflation and beat inflation, or at least be able to keep up with inflation. Because gold indeed is the ultimate form of sound money compared to these dollars, which are not anything but. In fact, when you put your dollars towards Social Security, really in a sense, as a Ponzi scheme, you're losing money, because its rate of return is much less than what you could do conservatively outside of that system. And so this is why we must take action ourselves to be able to preserve our wealth. And it's not by holding these either. Although I am a proponent of holding some of these to protect yourself in the case of an emergency, this is a losing proposition. Literally, by the time that I brought this video in screen, at the time I take it out, it will have lost a little bit more. It's crazy what's going on out there, but gold indeed will preserve its wealth, even through price swings. That's just the nature of what goes on with gold and other commodities. But gold is a monetary metal as well, too. And when you understand it as a monetary metal, the price becomes a little bit less important because over the long course of time, it will preserve your wealth. So there you have it. It's fascinating. I find it interesting, and I hope that really, when Trump does this executive order, he puts a little bit more emphasis on gold and precious metals as he goes through this. And so we'll see how this takes place. Likely that executive order could come once he signs the legislation that could build on the backbone of that to be able to allow folks to be able to make that happen. And who knows, maybe Congress will codify it if it's done correctly and done well and researched. We'll see how it plays out. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. There's 2 other videos to check out here. I hope you will check those out afterwards. And with that, I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch this video, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.